What happens when a royal prince walks onto one of America's most respected talk shows and turns a simple interview into an absolute disaster? In just 36 seconds of one particular exchange, everything falls apart, leading to one of the most shocking exits in television history. Diana Sawyer has seen it all. Decades behind the desk, countless interviews with world leaders, celebrities, and yes, even royalty. She's known for her calm, her poise, her ability to make anyone feel comfortable while still asking the tough questions. But nothing could have prepared her for what was about to unfold on this particular evening. The studio lights are bright, the audience is settled, and Diana sits across from Prince Harry. He's there to discuss his latest philanthropic ventures, his life in America, and his perspective on modern royal duties. At least, that's what the producers scheduled. That's what the audience came to see. Diana starts with a warm smile, the kind that's put 1,000 guests at ease. Thank you so much for being here. I know our viewers are excited to hear about the work you've been doing with veterans. Harry nods, but there's something in his expression. Something tight. Something that suggests he'd rather be anywhere else. Yeah, well, I'm here, aren't I? The response catches Diana off guard, but she's a professional. She pivots smoothly. You are, and we're grateful. Let's start with your foundation. Can you tell us about the recent initiatives you've launched? I can tell you whatever you want to hear, Harry says, leaning back in his chair with an air of casual arrogance. But I'm guessing that's not really why you brought me here. Diana's smile doesn't waver, but her eyes sharpen just a fraction. I brought you here to have a conversation, an honest one. Is there something else you'd like to discuss? Honest? Harry lets out a short laugh. That's rich coming from American media. You people wouldn't know honest if it bit you. The audience shifts uncomfortably. This isn't the charming prince they've seen in clips and photos. This is someone with an edge, someone looking for a fight. Diana remains composed, her voice steady and professional. I understand you've had difficult experiences with the press. Many of our guests have, but I hope you'll give us a chance to have a respectful dialogue here. Respectful, Harry repeats, as if tasting the word. You want to talk about respect. Let's talk about how your producers ambushed me with questions I specifically said were off limits. I'm not aware of any ambush, Diana says carefully. We sent you and your team a full list of topics we hope to cover. You approved them. I approved a conversation about my charity work, Harry snaps. Not an interrogation about my family, my marriage, or my quote-unquote controversies. Diana glances at her notes, then back at Harry. I haven't asked you about any of those things yet. We're 3 minutes into this interview. Yet, Harry emphasizes. You said yet. So it's coming, isn't it? The ambush. The gotcha moment. That's what you people do. The tension in the studio is thick enough to cut. Diana takes a quiet breath, recalibrating. I'd like to continue talking about your foundation. The work you're doing matters, and I think our audience would genuinely love to hear about it. Can we do that? Harry stares at her for a long moment, and for a second, it seems like he might relent. Then he shakes his head. You know what? I don't think I believe you. I'm sorry you feel that way, Diana says, and her sincerity is evident. But I'm asking you directly, right here, right now, what would you like to talk about? What would I like to talk about? Harry's voice rises slightly. How about the fact that every single person in this building sees me as content, as a story to boost ratings, not as a human being, but as a headline? Diana leans forward, her expression gentle but firm. I see you as a guest on my show. A guest I invited because I believe you have something valuable to share. But you have to actually share it, Harry. You have to meet me halfway. Meet you halfway? Harry's laugh is bitter now. That's what everyone says, isn't it? Compromise. Meet halfway. Smile for the cameras. Play the game. Well, I'm tired of the game. Then let's not play a game, Diana offers. Let's just talk. Human to human. You don't get it, Harry says, his voice dropping to something cold. You can't turn off being who you are. You're Diana Sawyer, media legend, queen of the interview, and I'm the prince who walked away. That power dynamic doesn't just disappear because you smile nicely. Diana's expression remains open, understanding. You're right that we come from different worlds, but that doesn't mean we can't have a real conversation. I've interviewed presidents and criminals, survivors and activists. Every single one of them was a person first. A person first, Harry echoes mockingly. Easy to say when you're the one holding the microphone. The audience is completely silent now. This isn't entertaining anymore. It's uncomfortable. It's watching something fall apart in real time. Diana tries once more, her voice carrying the weight of her decades of experience. I understand you're frustrated. I can see you're carrying a lot of pain. If you'd like to talk about that, we can. If you'd rather stick to your charity work, we can do that too. Or if you need to take a break, we can pause and regroup. What would help you right now? It's a perfectly reasonable offer. A lifeline. Most guests would take it. Harry doesn't. What would help me, he says slowly, deliberately, is if you stopped pretending to care. If everyone in this industry stopped pretending to give a damn about anything other than views and clicks and advertising dollars, that's not fair, Diana says, and for the first time, there's a slight edge to her voice. Not anger, but firmness. You don't know me. You don't know what I care about. I know enough, Harry fires back. I've watched your show. I've seen how you operate. Sweet and understanding until you go for the kill. That's your thing, isn't it? Lull them into security, and then strike. Diana's patience, remarkable as it's been, is clearly being tested. You're making assumptions about me based on your own pain and your own experiences with other journalists. That's understandable, but it's not accurate. I invited you here in good faith. Good faith, Harry scoffs. There's no such thing in this business. Then why did you accept the invitation? Diana asks pointedly. If you think so little of me and this show, why are you here? It's a fair question. A question Harry clearly doesn't have a good answer for. His jaw tightens, and something flashes across his face. Anger, maybe. Or embarrassment at being called out. My team thought it would be good for the Foundation, he finally says. Your team was right, Diana responds. It could have been. It still could be, if you're willing to actually engage. Engage, Harry repeats with disdain. You mean perform. Dance like a trained monkey. Give you sound bites you can clip for social media. I mean have a conversation, Diana says, her voice rising just slightly in frustration. That's all I've been trying to do since you sat down. But you've been hostile from the moment we started. Hostile? Harry's eyebrows shoot up. You think I'm being hostile? This is me being honest. Maybe that's something you're not used to in your carefully controlled interview environment. Diana takes a visible breath, centering herself. When she speaks again, her voice is calm but carries undeniable authority. Honesty is welcome here. Hostility toward me and my team, who have done nothing but try to accommodate you, is not. If you have legitimate concerns about the questions we discussed, let's address them. But these personal attacks need to stop. Personal attacks? Harry looks almost gleeful now, like he's been waiting for Diana to push back so he can push harder. You haven't seen personal attacks. You want personal? Let's talk about how you built your career on the suffering of others. How many people cried on this very couch while you nodded sympathetically and your producers counted the ratings spike? The audience gasps. It's a shocking accusation, completely uncalled for. Diana's face flushes slightly, but her voice remains steady. That's an incredibly disrespectful thing to say. I've spent my career trying to give voice to people's stories with dignity and respect. You don't have to like journalists, but you don't get to come onto my show and make baseless accusations about my character. Baseless? Harry leans forward aggressively. Everyone knows what you people are. Vultures, all of you, circling around tragedy and pain, waiting to pick the bones clean. That's enough, Diana says, and now there's real steel in her voice. You're entitled to your opinions about the media. You're entitled to your feelings about your own experiences. But you are not entitled to sit in my studio and attack me personally when I have done nothing but try to create a respectful space for dialogue. Respectful space? Harry's voice drips with sarcasm. Is that what you call this? Trapping me under these lights, in front of all these cameras, with your audience judging every word I say? You agreed to be here, Diana reminds him, her patience clearly wearing thin. No one forced you. No one trapped you. You walked through that door of your own free will. Maybe that was a mistake, Harry shoots back. Maybe it was, Diana agrees quietly, and something in her tone shifts. It's not angry. It's disappointed. Tired. I had hoped we could have a meaningful conversation. I've interviewed people who've been through unimaginable trauma. People who had every reason to be defensive or angry, and they still found a way to open up and share their truth. But you seem determined to be adversarial. Because I know how this works, Harry insists. You're trying to make me look bad, trying to get me to slip up so you have your viral moment. Diana shakes her head slowly. The only person making you look bad right now is you. I've given you every opportunity to share your story, to talk about your work, to say anything meaningful. Instead, you've spent this entire time attacking me. I'm attacking the institution you represent, Harry clarifies, though it sounds more like an excuse than an explanation. No, Diana says firmly. You're attacking me, personally. And I won't sit here and be disrespected in my own studio by someone who can't separate their past trauma from present reality. Harry's face reddens. Don't you dare psychoanalyze me. I'm not psychoanalyzing you, Diana replies evenly. I'm observing your behavior. You're lashing out at someone who's done nothing to harm you. That's not strength, Harry. That's pain looking for a target. You don't know anything about my pain, Harry snaps. You're right, I don't, Diana acknowledges, because you won't talk about it. You won't talk about anything real. You just want to throw verbal grenades and watch things explode. Maybe things need to explode, Harry says darkly. Maybe your whole self-righteous industry needs to be called out. Diana sighs, and it's the sigh of someone who's truly had enough. You know what? I've tried. I've really tried here. But I can't interview someone who refuses to be interviewed. I can't have a conversation with someone who only wants to lecture and accuse. So what are you saying? Harry challenges. I'm saying this isn't working, Diana states plainly. I don't think it's productive for either of us to continue. Are you kicking me off your show? Harry asks. And there's something almost triumphant in his voice. Like, this is what he wanted all along. Diana pauses, choosing her words carefully. I'm suggesting that we end this interview. You're clearly not in a place where you want to engage constructively, and I'm not going to subject my team or my audience to more of this hostility. Unbelievable, Harry mutters, but he's already reaching for his microphone pack. Absolutely unbelievable. What's unbelievable, Diana says quietly, is that you had a platform to share something meaningful, and you chose to waste it on anger. Harry stands abruptly, fumbling with his mic. I chose to speak the truth. You chose to be cruel, Diana corrects. There's a difference. Think whatever you want, Harry says, his voice rising. You and everyone watching can judge me all you want. I know what you people are really like. Diana remains seated, her composure intact despite everything. I wish you well, Harry. I genuinely do. I hope you find peace with whatever you're struggling with. It's a gracious exit line, more than Harry deserves given his behavior, but he doesn't take the olive branch. Save it for someone who buys your act, he spits out, yanking the microphone wire free with more force than necessary. The sound tech winces as equipment rattles. "Please be careful with the equipment," Diana says, her voice tired. "Or what?" Harry challenges, holding the mic pack like a weapon. "You'll sue me? Add it to the list of grievances? Write another article about the difficult prince?" "I'm not going to write anything," Diana says softly. "I'm just going to let this speak for itself." And that seems to hit something in Harry, because his face contorts with rage. "Of course you will. You'll air this. Make me look like the villain. That's what you wanted all along." "I wanted to talk about your charity work," Diana reminds him, and the sadness in her voice is genuine. "That's all I ever wanted." "Liar," Harry hisses, and the audience gasps again at the venom in that single word. Diana stands now, drawing herself to her full height. Her voice, when she speaks, carries the weight of her entire career. "You need to leave now. This interview is over." "I'm going," Harry snaps, throwing the mic pack onto the chair. "Enjoy your ratings boost. I'm sure this is exactly what you hoped for." "It's not," Diana says quietly, but Harry's already storming toward the stage exit. He stops at the edge, turns back one last time. "You know what the worst part is? People will watch this and take your side. They'll see you as the professional, the victim of the angry prince. They won't see the manipulation, the way you backed me into a corner." "I didn't back you into anything," Diana says, her voice carrying across the silent studio. "You came in angry, and you're leaving angry. That's on you, not me." Harry's mouth opens like he wants to say more, wants to have the last word. But maybe he sees something in Diana's eyes. Something that tells him he's already said more than enough. That he's already burned this bridge beyond repair. He turns and walks off the set, his footsteps echoing in the shocked silence. Diana stands there for a moment, visibly collecting herself. Then she turns to the camera, to her audience, to the millions who will eventually watch this unfold. "I apologize for what you just witnessed," she says, her voice steady despite the chaos. "That's not the conversation I hoped to have. That's not the conversation anyone deserved to see." She pauses, and you can see her choosing her next words with care. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, things don't go as planned. Sometimes people are carrying pain that makes it impossible for them to connect, even when connection is offered freely. Another pause. The audience is still silent, processing what they've seen. "I don't take pleasure in how this ended," Diana continues. "I take no satisfaction in it whatsoever. I genuinely hope to provide a platform for something positive, something meaningful. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible today." She looks directly at the camera, and her gaze is unflinching. "To those watching at home, thank you for your patience. And to my guest, wherever he is right now, I truly hope he finds what he's looking for. Because whatever it is, he didn't find it here." With that, Diana sits back down, straightens her notes, and signals to the producers. The show will go on. It always does. But this moment, this spectacular implosion, will be remembered for a very long time. The cameras pull back slowly, capturing Diana's composed face, the empty chair across from her, the stunned audience members still trying to process what they witnessed. This was supposed to be a routine celebrity interview. Instead, it became something else entirely. A masterclass in how quickly things can go wrong when ego meets opportunity, when pain meets platform, when a guest mistakes hostility for honesty. Diana Sawyer has interviewed countless people over her decades-long career. Presidents and criminals, heroes and villains, the famous and the infamous. She's known for her ability to handle any situation with grace and professionalism. And even here, in the face of unprovoked attacks and shocking disrespect, she maintained her dignity. The same cannot be said for her guest. As the commercial break music begins to play and the studio lights shift, Crew members rush to Diana's side. They're asking if she's okay, if she needs anything, apologizing for the disaster that just unfolded. She waves them off with a tired smile, assuring them it's not their fault. These things happen. Not often, but they happen. In the control room, producers are frantically reviewing footage, trying to decide what to do with this train wreck of an interview. Do they air it? Do they bury it? The decision will have consequences either way. But one thing is certain. This will be talked about. This will be analyzed. This will become a case study in how not to conduct yourself on television. For Diana, though, the calculation is simpler. She did her job. She tried every possible approach to salvage the situation. She remained professional when professionalism seemed impossible. She offered empathy when empathy was thrown back in her face. She did everything right. And still, it fell apart. That's the thing about interviews, about conversations, about human interaction in general. It takes two people to make it work. One person, no matter how skilled or well-intentioned, cannot force connection when the other person is determined to fight it. Harry walked onto that stage, carrying anger, resentment, and pain. He walked off with all of those things intact, plus the knowledge that he'd just burned a bridge in spectacular fashion. Whether he'll regret it later, whether he'll realize how badly he handled himself, is anyone's guess. But the footage doesn't lie. The transcript won't lie. His words and his actions will speak for themselves. Diana takes a sip of water, reviews her notes for the next segment, and prepares to continue the show. Because that's what professionals do. They keep going, even when things fall apart. They maintain composure, even when guests lose theirs. They remember that the show, the work, the audience, all of it matters more than any single moment of chaos. The empty chair across from her serves as a stark reminder of what could have been. A missed opportunity for genuine dialogue. A wasted platform that could have been used for good. A chance to share important work, squandered in favor of bitterness and accusation. The audience members are talking among themselves now, processing what they saw. Some look angry on Diana's behalf. Others look confused, trying to understand what triggered such hostility. All of them look disappointed. They came for inspiration, for insight, for the kind of meaningful conversation Diana Sawyer is known for facilitating. Instead, they got a front row seat to a public meltdown. Diana straightens her jacket, touches her hair, and prepares to face the camera again. The show must go on. It always does. And when it does, she'll be ready, professional, composed, and dignified as ever. Because that's who she is. That's who she's always been. And no amount of undeserved hostility from a guest can change that.